Hello, this is Professor Angelia with Works of Hearts, Zen Experiences and Awareness class, Part 1. This is a class I used to teach out in the community, and actually I had a client steal this class from my office once. Thankfully I had other copies, but that's okay. You know, I guess they really wanted to know this stuff. So here we go, Part 1, Zen Experiences and Awareness. We cannot stop time. From the time we are born, we also start dying, cell by cell. All things are impermanent. The time that has passed, we cannot get back. If we strive from this moment on to better ourselves, we will make progress. Buddhism is a way of living spiritually. It is an old culture. Even though Buddhism does not recognize a God, and Buddhahood is an attainment, one old story says that Buddha visited the gods. I believe that it is possible to apply Buddhist concepts to your life as well as believe in God. The current Dalai Lama has coined the term Buddhist psychology, and I think that term fits with my application of Buddhism to my life. Buddhist psychology has been proven very helpful treating mental patients and to the everyday person looking to find inner peace. You need not be 100% Buddhist to gain benefits from the teachings and practices of Buddhism. The original Buddha had a very tough life, even though he was a prince. And his greatness came from his quest for inner peace and enlightenment. The attainment of enlightenment of a bodhisattva, or student of Buddhism, is the goal. To reach deep inside of yourself and apply compassion and healing to your inner self and resolve all of your inner pain and suffering so that you can then turn your attentions out towards others and pray for the enlightenment of all sentient beings. The end to that would be peace and an end of suffering for all. We can soar to any heights that we dare reach for, given enough time and persistence. Buddha is an attainment. It is the constant striving to better ourselves. A Buddha is an enlightened being free from ignorance and suffering. Contentment with what we have is a mark of a Buddha. Our lifetime is limited and therefore precious. We could strive to live in each moment and use each moment to the best of our ability. To do this, we must merge our mind with our heart. We must bring our logical reasoning, compassion, caring, and sharing. When you can do this, you become a powerful force. The original Buddha told his followers this, and the Buddhist faith, turn my page here, grew out of his wisdom and understanding. Your experiences. Nothing is absolute. And the belief that nothing exists anyway, or emptiness as they call it, has been an arguable point for a long time. The emptiness that I think is important is the emptying of your heart. To empty it of all spiritual garbage which causes you suffering and which evil feeds on. to then empty your heart of guilt. Then you can fill your cup of love for yourself and give to others from the overflow. Some human experiences are universal. We seek out pleasant things that we like and avoid unpleasant things that we don't like. Nothing exists on its own. We are all woven together, I believe, by the Spirit of God to commune and learn from one another. Think about the people that you rely on. Do their words and actions match? Sometimes we ally ourselves with smooth talkers who talk the talk but don't walk the walk when it comes to being there for you. It's very disappointing when your eyes finally open to it. Do the people you are listening to mean well? Or, as the saying goes, the road to hell is paved with good intentions, which I don't necessarily believe. Sometimes people do things that are not in your best interest, but they mean well. Some people just want to hurt you. It hurts when you discover someone that you thought was your friend has just stabbed you in the back. They will always be like that to you, unless they are willing to heal themselves. Because you can't heal another person. They can only do that for themselves. People who are hopeless will use anyone or anything as a leg up to get themselves higher. That's what you call users. People who are miserable want to drag you down with them. Like the old saying, misery loves company. Be aware of who you rely on and be cautious in friendship while maintaining your good nature. Unfortunately, experience is the best teacher on how to spot who's got your back and who just as soon stab you in it when you turn around. If you believe in karma, these beings will just keep repeating their misery until their heart softens and changes, and they can become a tranquil soul and can move on to nirvana or heaven. Another thing is learning about others. You can ask other people if you don't know something. That's how you find things out in school and how you can now in your adult life. To choose to sit back and remain ignorant of anything when you have an opportunity to learn only punishes yourself. You stunt your own growth. Selfishness is a reaction to not getting your basic emotional needs met as a child. The mind becomes obsessed with getting what it wants. The person mistakenly thinks that this will fill a void in them and make them happy. But just like overeating, it will not. Nothing will ever be enough to fill that void. It can only be examined and healed. Some people feel that they are only selfish when they need to be. You never need to be. You do need boundaries, though, to keep yourself from being, let me turn my page here, used and abused. Every action has a cause and effect. If you don't know 100% what caused something when you can't explain it away, or then you can't explain it away, you just know what the effects were. You must let something go if you can't find a cause for it. That's some people's problem. They dwell on things forever and ever and ever because they don't know why this happened, so they're obsessed with it. But we don't always get an answer from other people or in a situation of why this happened. So you have to learn to let it go. Excuse me. One of the exercises I used to use with my clients in life coaching is to speak a thing into your hand. Like, this person hurt me. And then you hold it. You've got it in your hand. And then blow it away. Shake it away. Shake it off both hands. Wipe it under your feet. And be done with it. You can even go wash your hands so that you're clean of it. Just like actions that you cannot apologize for now or ask about if the victim or perpetrator is gone, you must let it go. So if you've wronged someone in the past and that person's passed on, or you have no idea how to get in touch with this person, you Google, you do Facebook and Twitter and everything, and you can't find this person, you have to let it go. You have to forgive yourself. And then you can even speak out. There's another thing I used to do with my clients. Speak out into the universe. So-and-so, I did this to you. It was mean. I'm sorry. I know better now, and I would never do this to you now. And then let that go. You can't obsess and dwell on things, or it's just going to eat you up inside. Writing things down on a piece of paper is another one I used to do. Then what effect they had on you, and then burning that piece of paper can give you permission to let that wrong be cleansed by fire. To say that, I don't know why this person did this to me, but I destroy their motives now with this cleansing fire. And now, instead, will heal the effects that these actions had on me. And when you do that, you take your power back. Because this person has had power over your life. They've done you some damage. But when you write that intention down on a piece of paper, and you burn that in the fire, you take your power back. This is a powerful tool that has been used by many life coaches. My nose is itching today. Thinking about the circumstances of your birth can shed light on the relationship that your parents had with you. Why they bonded with or did not properly bond with you. My goodness. I'm sure there's a little wives' tale about what that means, but I don't know. Why they were supportive of you or not. There are a lot of factors in the parent-child relationship. If you can step back and see your parents as people and examine their actions in a detached way, like as if they were someone else's parents, not yours, this may help you see why they made the decisions that affect you now. Parents are human too. So that means they make mistakes. At some point, confrontations with people from your past who have caused you suffering may feel necessary. If you feel that you are safe talking to this person, it may give you closure to do this. But then again, it may not. In that case, you must give yourself permission to close that wound and move on. You cannot force another person to care enough about you to give you the emotional closure that you need. You must then let it go, like a leaf on the wind. And you can even do that as a, exercise. You take the leaf, write on the leaf with permanent marker the problem, and let it go on a windy day. Never to be addressed again. Tell yourself that you did your best, and give yourself permission to be healed. Jesus himself said that souls in heaven do not marry. So clearly physical relationships are fleeting at best and should be enjoyed and respected for what they are, but not worshipped as a goal or idol. There is free love, and I believe in free love, but not free sex. Sex without love to me is just what animals do. I do believe that people fall out of love as easily as they fall in. One old British custom is that of hand fasting, where the couple was joined symbolically in front of witnesses and decided after a year's time whether they wanted to wed and bear children. The year is very symbolic in a relationship because science has proven that at first, we are visually and chemically attracted to each other. Most science agrees that after as long as 1 year, if the attraction was purely physical, it starts to wear off. How sad to think that you must stay with a person all of your life just because you were only attracted to them physically after all. I believe that two people who are spiritually alike, mentally stimulated by each other, and physically attracted to each other have the best relationships. You can just see that they make each other happy. I believe that if at some point you realize that your partner is not who you thought that they were, or they make you unhappy, you have the right to say, I'm not happy with you. And here's why. And if your partner has just slipped into a destructive pattern and is willing to change, then your relationship can survive and grow. If, as sometimes happens, your partner and you find yourselves at an impasse, counseling can help. Share my page here. If you are being abused in any way, get out. That will never change. Unless that person, again, is willing to go through years of counseling, and then you can go to couples counseling. But even then, that's an unusual thing. It will only escalate until you put a stop to it, and that much is true. Only when, you call the police on someone or quit the relationship will they believe that you mean what you say. Because they're using you or abusing you, and they're just going to keep doing it because they think they can get away with it. Each time the abuser does it, it becomes more acceptable in their mind. They may stop for a while, especially if they think they're going to lose you and they like having you as their little punching bag and like controlling you. But then will fall back on it in times of stress. Trust me, I know. At some point, I believe, when you or your partner realizes that they don't love the other party anymore, you have a duty to the other person to let them know. The ending may be tearful, and it usually is, but you will both be happier if you give yourselves the chance to move on and be happy by yourself or with someone else more like yourself. That is respect for your loved one. Like the old saying, if you love something, set it free. If it returns to you, it is yours. If it doesn't, then it never was. Sometimes we start relationships for wrong reasons. When we realize this, I believe that we should be free to go our separate ways without the expense and heartache that divorce causes. Someday you will die. Me too. All of us. That gorgeous, sexy person you've lusted after, someday that tan skin will shrivel, dry up, and turn to dust. The most gorgeous model in the world will someday turn to dust and bones. We don't like to think about that, but it may help you decide if it's the person's heart and mind you are attracted to, because that's what you should be concerned with. Oh my gosh, I'm so itchy. How they make you feel. A soul-to-soul connection is more than physical being. The most beautiful person in the world isn't worth their weight in dirt. if there is no connection between you. When your souls love each other, that will last. When the body goes, when the mind goes, real love will last. That should be our goal, not scoring the best looking partner. Now, some of you may be bothered by my suggestion of being free to walk away from a loveless relationship. The fatherless epidemic continues, and that's not what I'm suggesting at all. As far as children go, I believe that both parents should spend time with the children if it is possible. Now, if your child was being abused by the other partner, then certainly not. Having both sexes around gives the child the best developmental benefits. If for some reason this is not possible, a grandparent or aunt or uncle of the absent parent's sex can be around to spend time with and be a role model for this sex. If not, Big Brothers and Big Sisters is an excellent program to fill that need for bonding. We can all help each other here. A neighbor man I knew took a lot of neighborhood boys out to ball games. When one of those boys was older, he told me how much that had meant to him, that he got to go to those games. Although his mother and grandmother had done their best, he needed to go out and talk to a man sometimes and see how his feelings compared and just how men were, which helped him to decide what kind of man that he wanted to be. I think that a lot of society's problems today stem from absentee fathers. Sadly, even though most of the mothers are in the home, some of them are absent on an emotional level, which furthers the problems. More and more grandparents are raising two generations because their adult children aren't emotionally able to do the job. Some of these adult children are willingly subjecting their own children to the abuse that their parents doled out on them, thinking that it was just them that was the failure and that their parents will do a better job with their grandchildren, which actually is sometimes the case, but sometimes it's sadly not. We have an epidemic of angry, turn the page here, young people who have been abused and are hopeless and are living with crime and poverty and see no way out of their current situation, and so self-destruct doesn't seem like such a bad option. We should all reach out as one universal village and help to raise these children. Labeling them will not help us. Fearing them will not help them. They need guidance and to know that someone really cares. And now, I've heard Bill Cosby, and we all have our opinions on Bill Cosby, what we think of that. But he was a very experienced educator, and that's where I'm coming at here, as Bill Cosby is a very experienced educator, not anything else that went on in his life. Give the wake-up call with his "come on, people," and was so happy to see that someone else cared that we have a generation that is being treated as throwaways. All of us caring parents and grandparents should keep plugging away. And you men out there, if you are willing to do what it takes to make a life, then you need to step up and take care of that life. You may not love the mother, but you should show your child the love and consideration that you would want for yourself. If you know that you are not able to be a parent to a child for whatever reason, Don't have sex or practice safe sex. Grow up and be responsible for your own actions. We all have differences, of course. We all have our own unique individual experiences that make up our life. No one shares that, not even twins, because your own experiences are uniquely your own. Some people are good at things while some are not. People hold many different beliefs about many things. We are all human, however. We all think, feel and are aware of ourselves. We all share this one planet. Once you feel that all of your inner suffering has been addressed and healed to the best of your ability, then you need to make reparations. That is, to say you're sorry to the people that you have wronged in life. This is the hardest part for most people. But pride is the major factor there. And if we want inner peace, pride needs to be put in its place. If you can speak directly to the people that you know that you have caused suffering, then do so. If a phone call or letter can be achieved, then do so. In some cases, you will not be able to reach out to some person, or they have left this life. In that case, get some balloons or some leaves and write with a felt tip marker what you are apologizing for. An example could be, Grandma, I did break your window and I lied to you about it. Please forgive me. Then let the balloon or leaf go in the wind, because you did your best to apologize. Then let go of your guilt. My favorite saying that I use in coaching is that children are innocent. Teens are confused. Young adults must find themselves. Only then can they make peace with themselves and others. If you want to, someday you will learn joyfully. Faith is another hard one for some people. They have been so abused that they trust no one and have faith in nothing. Only by doing their inner work will they be able to reach out and trust in anyone or anything. Effort. Think about that word. People who say that you can just think positive and the world will fall into your lap scare me. Nothing is possible without effort. When you were a kid, was there a cookie jar or bread box that you had to climb or strain to reach the treats? Life is like that. You will never get what you want unless you go for it. Positive thinking goes right along with positive effort. But just the positive, turn my page here, thinking will get you nothing. You must act. That was our bell. So that's all for now. Until next time.